There you go. So this is a year update. Finally, I got the light right. I need to get a filter, but it's a year update on my Nano. Little 40 gallon. It's only like 28 gallons of water in there. And the rest is rocks, fish, and corals, and bullshit. But yeah, it's looking good. Pretty stoked. GSP's grown in. Everything's grown in. Got rid of the green mushrooms on the left and put that torch there. Guy's looking sweet. Looking super sweet. Definitely like that torch. My little Euphilia garden here. Mushrooms are growing in. Everything's growing in good. Probably need to chop some of that bird's nest so it stops shading out my purple stylo, but whatever. Clownfish are getting big. Kind of bored of the black clowns, but I'm going to keep them just because they're OG. They're pretty cool. I like the storms or frostbites better, but whatever. Got them because they were cheap. That wrasse is super pretty. Love that wrasse. Anyways, zoas are growing over each other. Pretty annoying. Way too many infusions. Need to get rid of these stupid things. I'm not a fan. They look good, and then they just took over. Like, look at these long stalks on them. I hate that. Like, I hate that pally look. Not into it. Like, even these green ones here, they look like fucking Aptasia. They're just ugly. The Utter Chaos is looking great though. I like a shorter neck Zoa. I know you gotta put them in highlight to get them to grow shorter, blah blah blah. But like those rostas right there that barely have been grown at all, those are sweet. I like the ones that just like encrust to the rock. They stay tight. The pallies are kind of fugly, but oh well. But all in all, tank's looking sick. Dogs being loud. Really know what to talk about other than the fact that tank's been killing it, you know, knock on wood, but haven't really been doing much. A water change here and there every 3 weeks or so. Really not much maintenance. Flip out the floss like once a week, maybe, not even. But yeah, dude, tank's killing it. Couldn't be happier. Dose all for Reef, about 10 mils a day. Got that on a doser, dosing about 10 times a day, I think, or 5 times a day, I forget. I think it's 10 times a day, anyways. Yeah. There's definitely something to be said about not doing anything. Like, just keep your hands out of the tank. I don't put my hands in the tank ever. Only when I'm doing a water change. So I'll like keep a mental note of things I want to change when I put my hands in. Try not to put my hands in the tank ever. It's like a big emergency, but there's never really a big emergency. Like, even if a coral falls over, it's not gonna die in a day or two, you know? Wait till you do your water change, then fuck with it. Keep your hands out. When you glue corals, glue the fuck out of them. Put a fuck ton of glue. Because when corals are constantly falling and moving, it's just annoying. You don't want to be putting hands in your tank anyways, because you're gonna introduce whatever's on your hands, chemicals, soap, blah blah blah. You could think your hands are clean, but they're probably not. It's just gonna piss off your corals. Yeah, super stoked on this torch here. I love that. I love the way he looks. Everybody spends that big money on those gold torches, but most of those gold torches end up looking like this anyways. They lose their gold when you put them in the tank. So I'll just stick with my cheap torch. I like the way it looks anyways. Cool. You don't really get Euphilia and torches and soft corals for their color, you know. So hard corals have the nice color. Those corals just add movement, and they're just pretty neat structural wise, but dude, $300 for a gold torch. Stupid. It's dumb. It's a waste of money. In my opinion, if you got it like that, I guess go for it. But the people that have all those nice torches usually have a tank with just like torches. They got no taste. They got no style. Like, I like a mixture of all the corals. I wish I could keep acros, but I mean, actually, I don't really keep it. I wish I could keep acros. I have one acro, and I don't really care to keep other ones because acros are agita, man. You have a little alk swing, you have a little blah blah blah. Acros are gonna bleach. They're gonna die. These corals are pretty damn hardy. Pretty sure they're all aquacultured. I tried a couple of wild type acropores in here. They did not do well. They weren't encrusted to the plug. They were pretty new frags, so that's probably why they died. But regardless, unless you want to set up like a straight up acropore dominant tank, and you have a big tank, like small tanks with acropore is pretty stupid if you ask me. I mean, it's cool, but it's also a pain in the ass. So yeah, I'm super stoked on the tank. Love it. GSP wall, once that thing fills out, it's gonna look sick. Some of the hard corals kind of grow into their own and kind of interweave with each other. It's gonna look really cool. But I'm super happy with where the tank's at. Really not much else to be said about it, but kind of give you a little overview. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, just got a little Hydra 26. Bought the light used. My auto top off's going off. I got to see that crust that builds up there. That alpha reef that crusts up the tip. I gotta break that off every once in a while. But yeah, skimmer's a little full. Probably need to change that. Some carbon I'm running. You don't always run carbon, but once in a while. Oh, well. Flip that. Alpha reef. Bunch of bottles of expensive shit that I never use. A one-line doser. My pumps and everything. Pretty clean, pretty tight little setup here. Easy peasy. I love it. It's just enough to get my fix of the hobby, and it's not like a crazy amount to where it's like annoying to take care of, too much work, and it's not too expensive to fill the tank out, you know? I mean, probably spent, you know, over $500 in coral for this tank, but I've had 3 or 4 nice colonies die. I got them right when I started this tank, and obviously it's better to not put expensive colonies in a tank when you first get it. Keep it cheap, keep it to frags. Just put a fuck ton of frags in when you start a tank. Like, put in 20, 30 frags. It'll get all that. It'll introduce a lot of good bacteria and coralline and all kinds of funky critters that help the tank. People that say wait a while to put corals in, it's not the move. I mean, wait a while to put in like expensive corals and big corals. But if you're getting your corals from a good source and they're aquacultured corals, I'd throw them right in the tank, right when you start the tank. Get it going. Don't be scared. Throw them in there. They die, just a frag. Guarantee you 90%. If you know what you're doing, 90% of those corals will live. Probably 95% of them. I've never had a typical coral die. I've only had those wild type acropores die, and then some like euphyllias. They got the brown jelly disease, but that was right when I started the tank. Obviously, it was a bad call. And they got shipped in from like the Philippines, so they were in the bag for like 2 days. They were already pretty bad looking by the time I got them, so that's probably why they died. Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna stop rambling. Hope you enjoyed. Take it easy, and don't drive yourself crazy with your reef tank. I know it can be annoying sometimes and frustrating and blah blah blah, but just chill with it. Let it run through its course. Don't overdo it. Don't obsess. Just let it fucking coast, and you will have much better results, I promise. All right, take it easy.